two BMW 1300 GSAs, both very similar finishes. One getting wrapped in matte PPF, the other in graphene coating. Why? Because what works for one rider doesn't necessarily work for another.
We began with a complete decontamination on both bikes. Even though they were brand new from the showroom, surface prep is non-negotiable to ensure a perfect base for protection.
This is the first video in which we are showing you our PPF process on motorcycles. So do stick to the end of the video because there are a lot of things that we do and where we differ from other detailers when it comes to PPF.
Every inch of both bikes was thoroughly cleaned using dedicated brushes and specialized cleaners before the paintwork was safely washed using the 2-bucket wash method. And this is where the video starts getting a lot more interesting. So make sure you watch till the end because we are going to break down the differences between PPF and coating.
Now this is where the process starts to differ for the two bikes. Since this one is completely matte, we cannot do any polishing or paint correction on it. So this heads straight for PPF prep.
To ensure a seamless installation, we removed a few body panels so the PPF could be properly wrapped and tucked around the edges. This is a step that requires a lot of care.
PPF on bikes is not as easy as it looks. If done properly, it can take almost as much time as a car. With every curve, edge and contour fighting against the film, getting it to wrap cleanly at the edges without lifting is a real challenge.
I usually advise people against getting PPF done on their bikes because of the shape of the panels. They're very curvy with sharp edges, and that makes it easy for the film to lift over time, which ends up looking bad. But in this case, this bike is going to be used for long tours with tank bags on it, and these can easily scratch the paint. And since this bike has a matte finish, there's no way to remove or polish out those scratches. So in this situation, PPF just made more sense.
With PPF complete on this bike, it's time to move on to the other.
Even though this bike was brand new, we still carried out a light paint correction on the gloss painted panels. It removes any minor hairs, improves clarity, and brings out that extra depth in the finish. It's a subtle touch, but that's the OCD way. The reason we are doing coating on one bike and PPF on the other comes down to the client's needs. This bike is getting tank pads, so there's no chance of the knees scratching the paint. The customer won't be using any tank bags either, and that makes a big difference. Since there's no risk of scratches from knees or straps, coating is the better choice. PPF can never quite match the flawless finish of a coating. There are no visible edges, and it brings out far more depth and gloss in the paint.
That said, I also ceramic coat the PPF to protect it from UV damage and to make maintenance easier.
Protecting a bike isn't just about the paint. Now it is time to give the rest of the bike the same level of protection.
I don't use the same coatings everywhere. The wheels, paint and plastics all get their own coatings. What works on one surface simply will not work on another.
For instance, the coating used on the paint won't hold up on the wheels or engine parts because these areas get extremely hot. That is why we are using a wheel coating from Art Design to protect them.
Coating these underparts makes a huge difference. It makes the maintenance much easier. My clients come back and tell me that their bikes don't get as dirty anymore.
If you've made it this far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and lets us know you want to see more content like this.
Both PPF and coatings serve very different purposes. On one hand, a coating cannot provide the protection that a PPF does, and on the other hand, a PPF cannot match the flawless finish of a well-applied coating. If it was up to me, I would personally prefer a coating. The visible edges of a PPF bother me. I prefer my bike to have a seamless, flawless glossy finish. A few stone chips don't bother me. I hope this video helped you in making a decision by understanding the difference between a coating and a PPF. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.